Hey guys, welcome to another video. This week I'm going to be making a lion card for our baby shower and a dump truck gift bag. Obviously the two items don't go together, but I need to get both of them done, so I'm going to do both of them for this video. A full list of the materials I've used in this video will be in the description. I've also included an easy version of this lion card as a print, fold, and color version. That way you just have to print it out, fold it, color it, and you're done. So getting started with my lion card, I'm just going to cut out the biggest lion here. And this design for this card came from a rug. So what I'm going to do to create some texture is just color this over the surface of my cutting and scoring board for my paper cutter. And then with my black pen, I'm just going to go over some of these lines here that create the letters, just so that it's more readable. Once that's all colored in, I'm going to use my craft glue and start with the nose here and just glue some of the cut up pieces from some gray fuzzy yarn, just making sure that the yarn goes to all of the edges. The same thing I'm going to do with the inside of both of the ears. And for the rest of the design, I am going to need some cream colored yarn. So I'm just cutting that up into very fine pieces. That way I can glue it on like I did with the gray. The cream yarn is definitely trickier to place because the words still need to be readable and some of the gaps are very small between where there is yarn and where there isn't yarn. Even though some of the yarn seemed like it wasn't sticking while I was doing this, luckily once it dried it was very stuck to the paper and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I've never done this before and I thought it'd be a cool way to incorporate more texture into this card design, especially since it's based on a rug. And with that drying, I'm going to start on the envelope, which means using this smaller lion that I printed out. Instead of using white for the base of the card, I'm actually using a very light gray. And just scoring that in the center. I'm also going to add a couple of strips of dark gray to add some more detail to the front of the card. And just using a glue stick to glue it all together. And back to the envelope, I'm just going to take that same light gray paper and cut that to a good size to fit on the outside of the envelope, as well as a few more dark gray strips of paper. Similarly to how I colored in the larger lion, I'm still going to use my paper cutter's scoring board to create a texture. But I'm not going to glue the yarn to this one because it's way too small to get that amount of precision in where the yarn is. So I'm just going to color this in with colored pencils. Once that's colored in, I'm just going to layer all my pieces of paper onto the outside of the envelope, gluing each one with my glue stick. And onto the dump truck gift bag. I have a bunch of my own personal templates printed out for this one. I had planned on making both a gift bag and a card, so I do have pieces that go to each. I'm just making the gift bag for this video though, and you'll be able to see the card finished over on Instagram. So getting started with my first template, this one I'm actually just going to score across the lines, and this will end up being the base of my gift bag. Most of these templates are printed out on cardstock paper. And for the corners, I'm just going to use a little bit of glue from my glue stick to stick those together and also staple them. That way they're more reinforced, since this is going to actually be a gift bag and it has to be able to hold some weight. Next, I'm cutting out the side panels for the gift bag. These will be the base for what I build the dump truck design onto. For the dump truck design itself, I have different shapes printed out on yellow, silver, and blue cardstock, as well as some shapes printed out on white printer paper that I will glue to black cardstock in order to cut those out easier. I'll include a finished outline of the dump truck design as a template in the description. You can use it as a coloring page or use it as a template to know which shapes to cut out to recreate the dump truck from paper. Since I'm using this to make a dump truck gift bag, I'm actually cutting out two versions of the truck design. One of the original design and one of it flipped. That way the silhouettes of each side of the bag match up. And as you can see, with all of the pieces cut out, I'm just gluing them together on top of the base that I've created with the blue cardstock paper. Right, and with both sides of the bag done, it's time to start putting everything together to create the actual gift bag. I'm actually going to use some strips of cardboard to reinforce the handles. And I'm going to use a hole punch to punch some holes in these pieces of cardboard. And then I'm using some binder paper reinforcements to help protect the cardboard from ripping around the holes for the gift bag handles. Then instead of using a glue stick to attach the cardboard to the truck panels, I'm actually going to use hot glue, as well as to attach the truck panels to the gift bag base. Then using a sharp object, like the end of my scissors, I'm just poking holes through the truck design, through the holes that are already existing in the cardboard, and then reinforcing those holes again with the binder paper reinforcements. And for the handles themselves, I'm using some macrame cord, just tying that in a knot around the back, securing it with hot glue, and cutting off the ends. I've also added a piece of cardboard roughly the same size and shape as the bottom base of the gift bag. And once all of that is completed, it's ready now to hold the gift that I intended it to hold, which is this set of blocks. And that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week.